Hey YouTube, this is Miss Metamorphosis, aka the Fearless Freshman, coming to you with another video. Today, I actually want to talk about what to pack when you go to college, well, when you get ready to start. If this is your, if you're going to be starting in the fall, if you're going to be starting in the summer, well, you're probably already thinking about, well, I got to pack and, what to take. And some schools may send you a list of what you should take and what you shouldn't, and some may not. And just in case you're not sure, I just am going to run down a little list of like the basic essentials, that you should make sure that you have with you. Okay, so the first thing is keep in mind that unless you requested a room to yourself, more than likely you're going to have at least one other roommate. Okay, so you got to keep in mind these rooms aren't that big. Now, if you ever went on a college tour, they took you in a room and it's like usually one of their nicer rooms, and they have it all decked out and everything, and it looks really cool, but you got to remember, more than likely you're going to have another person in that room. Now, a lot of schools now are building or have built dorms to where they're set up like suites. They almost look like hotels in a way, where there may be one unit, but there's like 3 or 4 or sometimes only 2 other rooms in that unit. Okay, so that may be a little different. I lived in a room like that one year where we had a suite. It was 4 of us, and each of us had our own little room. But remember, those rooms are still small. Okay, you're not gonna have some big lavish bedroom to yourself unless you're like really paying some extra money for it. Okay, so that's the first thing you want to remember, is more than likely you're going to be sharing space with people. If you're in a traditional dorm room where it's one room and you just kind of have to split the room down the middle, or if you're in a suite, even in a suite, your room is not going to be huge. Okay, so keep that in mind. So first thing, you want to take bedding with you. Bedding meaning like your blankets, sheets, things like that. At least 2 sets, so that you can be washing one and you can rotate them. Okay, so like a comforter. And also think about the weather too. Like in the fall, what is the weather like? Is it extra hot? Is it really, really cold? What is it like? So that can kind of help you decide like how many blankets, sheets, pillows, things like that you want to take. As far as the actual bed, the dorms more than likely are already going to be furnished, meaning that they're not going to be decorated, but they will have like a desk, a chair. Some may have lamps. Usually you'll have to bring a lamp yourself, but there will be some kind of ceiling light. So a desk, a chair, a bed, and a mattress. I have not heard of a school so far where you have to actually bring your mattress or bring your furniture like that, okay? Now, if you're in an apartment, that's different. But if you're in a dorm room, more than likely it's already going to be furnished, meaning that there's going to be furniture. So bring your bedding. If you want, you can bring a rug. You don't have to. Some floors may be carpeted, some may be tile. Bring your clothes, of course, and also take into account, again, the weather. Like if it rains a lot or rains sporadically, or if it can randomly get cold, that can kind of help you figure out how many clothes you want to bring. Remember to bring clothes for hot weather and for cold weather, because weather can be unpredictable. Also, take into account how close to home you are, because if you're close to home with like a quick drive, well, you don't need to take all your clothes. You can easily go home and you can switch out like your hot clothes, your hot weather clothes, for your fall and winter colder weather clothes easily. But if you live far away, you might want to have that like in a trunk or in some kind of like Tupperware container or something like that under your bed or in your closet. Okay, so we've got bedding, rug, clothes, toiletries. All right, so more than likely you will be sharing a bathroom with at least one other person. Now, I've lived in traditional older dorms where you had to share bathrooms with an entire floor of people, or in my case, a floor of girls. So it's kind of like a locker room in that case, to where you want to have flip-flops with you, and you're going to need a little shower caddy. I wish I had one with me. It's just like a little container where you'll keep like your shampoo, your soap, whatever other things you use, like razor, shower gel, whatever you use when you take a shower or a bath or whatever. So you want to take that with you. Please, if you're in a dorm where they share, like a whole bunch of people share the same showers, make sure you have flip-flops. You do not want to get athlete's foot, because yeah. Okay, and then of course you take a robe with that, but I guess a robe would kind of go along with your clothes. Toiletries. Okay, so back to toiletries. If I were you, I would try to buy them in bulk, meaning that just stock up on them. You might want to go, and no, I am not speaking for any brands, but like Walmart or Target or whatever store you like to go to. No, I'm not affiliated with any of them. But you want to go and get things that you know you're going to need, especially if you don't have a car. If you don't have your own car, well, eventually you're going to run out of soap or you're going to run out of toothpaste. So you want to have some backups already in your room somewhere. So like toothpaste, deodorant, ladies, feminine products, because, you know, when nature calls, she calls, and she doesn't care if you're prepared or not. So stock up on things like that. Anything that you go through relatively quickly over the, like, think about it, a semester is roughly about 4 months. So whatever you think you'll have to replace in that time, buy 2 or 3 of those so you'll have them as backups. Okay, appliances. Now, you kind of want to limit your appliances, and again, some schools may send you a list. I know my freshman year, where I started out, they actually sent me a list of things to bring and things not to bring. All right, so lamps. You don't want like a big expensive lamp. Some people use a floor lamp. You got to be really careful about those halogen lamps because those get really hot. Some schools do not allow them. And also just a little desk lamp, you know, that might help. If you want to bring posters, you're more than welcome to do that. No, I wouldn't advise you trying to paint your your dorm room, but I mean, it's up to you how much you want to cover your walls with posters or artwork or whatever designs or whatever it is you want to put on the wall. But yeah, I don't think most schools will allow you to like actually alter the walls by painting them. Light cleaning supplies, because no, you don't have a maid. Now, there may be maintenance that may come through and clean the hallways and clean the bathrooms, but, and again, that's if you're using one of those communal bathrooms. But you are responsible for cleaning your dorm room, okay? Most schools don't have time or the money to be spending on on maids and servants and things like that to be cleaned up after you. So, and this is where you're gonna find out a lot about people your age group. Like, you don't know how clean or dirty people are until you have to live with them, okay? So light cleaning supplies. Now, if you do live in a suite where it's kind of like a hotel situation where there's 3 or 4 separate rooms. Now, when I lived in a suite like that, 2 of us had a bathroom on one end, the other 2 had a bathroom on their end. Okay, but again, we were responsible for cleaning that up. That was not a communal bathroom where the whole floor uses it. All right, so that is your responsibility if you live in a suite. Okay, mini fridge. Now, most dorm rooms will be furnished with, like I said, basic furniture, but you may want to get a mini fridge. Most stores that sell mini fridges, they can run anywhere, especially this time of year, because they know students are getting ready to go to college. So this is a great time to go looking for one. Most stores are going to run anywhere from 60 at the lowest. I remember I got one year for like 60 bucks, all the way up to like 100 plus. So you just got to shop around and look for sales around this time of year, because again, they know a lot of students are getting ready to pack up and go off to college. So a mini fridge. And that helps because with many schools, most universities, their cafeteria or their whatever you want to call it, their dining area, a lot of times they have funny hours on the weekends. So what if you may have some food left over that you want to take back to your room and save it, or maybe you order takeout or something like that, you have it there for you, a mini fridge. And make sure you talk with your roommate if you guys are going to share a mini fridge about whether or not you're going to share food, so be clear about that. Of course, your computer, if you have one, any chargers, phone chargers, iPad chargers, whatever you need, a strip plug, that might help to have a strip plug, because more than likely you'll be using a lot of electronics in your room at some point. Non-perishable food items. You don't have to bring this, but it always helps, because you never know, in the middle of the night you might get hungry or insomnia or whatever, okay? So it helps just to have some non-perishables, maybe your favorite cereal or something like that. I'm the queen of Tupperware, and I had a Tupperware thing under my bed, and I would keep just, things like that, like cereal and whatnot in my under my bed. And then finally, again, like I just said, Tupperware or some kind of chest or a trunk. And it's really good for storing stuff that you just want out of the way. Like in the winter time, when I started college, I started out at Ohio, in Ohio, okay, or at Ohio State. But anyways, I ended up transferring south. But anyways, you might want to keep one of those under your bed. So with that said, I'm going to stop here because I'm almost at 10 minutes. So I will come back with another video very shortly.